today we're out here in the Gila forest in the middle of nowhere. And today's going to be a little bit different. I'm going to do a little bit of adventure stuff, but big reason I came out here is to help my friend Jared find some birds. And if you know me and you've seen my stuff, some of my other stuff, I'm also a wildlife photographer. So I realize, much to mine and Jared's dismay, that most people are not as interested in birds as we are. But I'm going to try to get some anyways. And if you do like wildlife and you want to see more of that stuff, you go to my website and check out my wildlife section. But if I get anything today, that's the thing about wildlife. You don't know what you're going to get. So if I do get anything today, I'll definitely be posting it in here. But I've also got some river. We're right by the Gila River, which is behind me. And we've got all these great mountains, so I'm going to do some hiking adventure type photo shoots, and Jared's going to be probably my model as well. So we'll definitely be doing some other stuff other than wildlife, but for now we have to be a little more quiet, and I'm going to go stake out some birds, and hopefully we'll see some other cool stuff, maybe some four-legged creatures. Some cats would be nice. You never know. But we'll see what we get. This is my vlogging setup. Yeah. I still haven't got a smaller camera yet, so I'm using my 70D. And I have it on a ridiculously large normal tripod right now. Not recommended. I'm also carrying this with me, so it's my 1DX2 and my 400, and it's not making the best vlogging setup in the world. I'm going through some weird fence here, so, and my backpack is stuck. Alright, I made it through. Yeah, so quick settings for my wildlife settings. I've got it on shutter priority mode, and because shutter right now is all I care about, there's not a cloud in the sky. It's just going to keep getting brighter, so I don't care about aperture. All I care about is having a fast enough shutter to catch those birds, especially because there's a lot of certain little birds that we're going to be trying to find today, and some normal sized birds, and probably some big flappy birds that are moving really fast. So I definitely want to make sure I have shutter speed fast enough, and if I'm not having to deal with my aperture, then that's all the better. I also put it on auto ISO. I've got a 1DX2, so I'm not really worried about high ISO. I would still even recommend that, even like when I'm shooting on my 70D in the middle of the daytime, you know, shooting at 2,000th of a second, your ISO, even if it hits, you know, 1,000 or 1,600 or something during the daytime, you're not going to notice that noise, and it's going to be worth it to have that wildlife frozen just the way you want it and looking good. So those are my wildlife settings, and I'm ready to roll. Oh, last setting. A lot of times I will put it in overexposure. I will overexpose by like anywhere from 1/3 of a stop to even a full stop if I'm shooting, depending on where the sun is. If the sun is behind the birds, like it's behind me now, then I will overexpose and set it to exposure compensation plus 2/3 or something, because you don't want the shadow of the bird to be so dark that you can't see anything, because your camera's going to expose for all of this stuff out here and not this. And the bird's really small in your field of view, so overexpose, don't worry about blowing out the background, and that'll help your bird or your animal or whatever look really nice. So let's get back on the trail. There's a spotted sandpiper down there. Just thought you should know that. I can't see it. 400? Not long enough for that. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and try to get this bird. So the cool thing about the 1DX2 is the 4K, and in 4K it's got a 1.3 times crop, so that'll help my 400, get a little farther. And then I'm also going to try to throw this tail converter on. It's only 1.4, but I'm just going to kind of see how the quality holds up. And what I'll end up doing, since the rest of this is 1080p, I will downsize the 4K, which will allow me to crop in another 100% and still keep it hopefully relatively good quality. Alright, no luck with the robin. Well, we're also here, what are we here for? Rufous-backed robin? Yeah, apparently that's never been seen in this county before, and someone saw it the other day, so we're out here tracking it down. No luck with that yet, but we did, and no luck with the cardinal, at least photographically. She was definitely hanging out there, but I did manage to get some couple good clips of ruby crown kinglets, which are really tiny and really fast, and I always have trouble photographing them, let alone getting some video, but hopefully that came out good, and we'll check it out. Alright, so we're going to take a little break from birding. I found a really nice spot on the river. Like I said, we're at the Gila River, and typically the Gila River, little tiny, what most people call river. So we have a lot of water right now. It's running over 1,000 CFS, which is more than I've ever seen it by a lot. So one of the things I like to do in showing adventure photography, especially with like local clients, I shoot for a lot of tourism and stuff around here. So I want to show, one, the river, and two, I want to put a human element in there. So I'm going to use Jared, and I'm going to try to put him in a slightly scenic spot to show the river and to show the human interaction, and hopefully it'll come out looking nice, and maybe something can happen with some of those images. So let's see what we can get. Alright, so for that image, a couple quick things. One thing I did was I put a circular polarizer to cut down on the glare there, and then I put a 0.9 ND filter on top of that and slowed it down, and then that smoothed out the water a little bit, and I had it at f22 for like 1/6 of a second, and then I may blend multiples in there for the river, but I think it's smooth enough. So that's just a couple of quick technical things on that image. So let's go see what else we get. All right, so we were heading back, and I saw this cool hillside, and around me you can see the mountains, and then way down there is where we were in those cottonwoods looking for the birds. And so I'm going to try to see if I can get a good vantage point to show off my model back there, and see if we can't get a cool overview shot. Obviously this is not the right time of day to be doing this, but maybe if I can use it as a scouting mission, or just to kind of have in my visual notes to see what it'll look like. So anyways, we'll see if we get a shot. If I do, I'll post it right now. If not, we'll move on and we'll see what else we get. All right, I found a much better spot from up here, so hopefully those pictures will come out better. One thing, you know, I watch a lot of other vlogs of adventure photographers, like in the UK and in Ireland and stuff like that, and they're always complaining about too much clouds. Well, come to New Mexico. We don't have that problem. I have the exact opposite problem. I'm usually sitting around waiting for clouds, and thank goodness for Photoshop. So maybe I'll put some clouds in there. But this has definitely been a great scouting mission. So I know, now that I know this place, I'd love to come back. So sunset is gonna be over there somewhere, and that'll look really nice. Either that or sunrise from the opposite side. So sunrise is coming up from behind me that way. I'm camera disoriented, but either way, I think got some cool scouting locations down, and I'll definitely be back here for some more stuff. Luckily, this is only like, what are we, 20 minutes away from town? Yeah, so I mean, we're about 20 minutes away from my house, and it's fantastic. So definitely gonna come back out here, but for now I have to hike back down into that stuff. So I'm gonna put the camera gear away because I have learned my lesson about hiking down things with camera gear out. So we'll be back in a little bit. All right, I'm halfway down. Took a break. This is dangerous. It's always scarier going down than coming up, especially in New Mexico. You want to see something crazy? Yeah. Those things are everywhere out here, and they hurt just a little bit. So back to trotting slowly down this mountain slope. Hopefully make it down there without any more tears in the clothes. All right, made it back down. Not too many tears. I do have some, you have a lot of, you can't see that. I got a lot of spikes in me right now, but that's another thing about New Mexico winters though, is it was like 30 this morning when I left, and it's about 60 now. So layers are coming off, and going back into the woods. Well, made it back to the car, did a few miles, had a good hike. Definitely, we got a few birds, not the ones we were looking for, but I got a few that I was looking for. And now I think it's tea time. I'm gonna wrap up the vlog, and hope you enjoyed the hike, the animals. We didn't see the animals. I wanted to see animals, but we got some good birds, and I'll put some extra visuals up after here. And if you like this kind of stuff, definitely make sure you subscribe to the channel and check out the other vlogs and tutorials and everything else I'm doing. And I'll see you in the next video. See ya. Tea time. See you later. Alright, that was a false alarm on the vlog ending. Well, it was ending. We were driving home, but we found this little creek back there, and we saw a couple of red-tailed hawks and a golden eagle, and they were having a little aerial chat. So now we're gonna go try to film them, and while I'm filming those and shooting those, I also just saw a bald eagle over there, so we're gonna go try to get him too. And then also I found this, like I said, this little creek here, so I cannot do that. I'm not used to that yet. I found this little creek here, and I'm gonna try to get some shots. There's a big for New Mexico standards waterfall up there, and I'm gonna try to get a shot of that. And then that. So there's some cool leading lines. It's a little windy out here, in case you can't tell. Hopefully you can still hear me. I just had to wait for that big old wind gust to stop hurricane through here. Okay, what I was trying to say before I almost got blown over is I really like the leading lines that's making. So I'm gonna try to get some. Had to run back to my car to grab my backpack and grab the filters and the polarizers and the NDs and stuff. So I'm gonna get that set up on a tripod after I finish chasing this eagle, and I'll show you those photos. But for right now, it's birdie hunting time.